For decades, democracy has been the foundation of Western society. The power to elect leaders, shape national policies, and determine our own future has been a fundamental right. But what if that democracy was never as strong as we believed? What if, behind the scenes, globalist organizations have been slowly eroding our ability to govern ourselves? Let's take a look at the institutions that were meant to serve the people, but instead, have been infiltrated and weaponized against them. The World Health Organization was originally established to coordinate international health responses. But in recent years, it has transformed into an unelected global authority, pushing policies that override national sovereignty. The WHO Pandemic Treaty gives the organization the power to dictate global health measures, effectively stripping nations of their right to decide their own responses. Vaccine mandates and digital health IDs have been heavily promoted, centralizing control under the guise of public safety. Corporate influence from pharmaceutical giants like Pfizer and tech billionaires like Bill Gates ensures that these policies benefit private interests, not the people. The COVID-19 pandemic was a clear example of this power shift. While governments followed WHO directives, citizens were forced into lockdowns, businesses were destroyed, and experimental vaccines were rushed out, generating record profits for pharmaceutical giants. The lab leak theory, once dismissed as conspiracy, is now being taken seriously, raising questions about the true origins of the virus and the role of global institutions in controlling the narrative. The impact of COVID-19 was disproportionately felt in Western nations, particularly among populations that were most resistant to globalist policies. Was this just a coincidence, or a calculated move to weaken societies most likely to push back against globalist control? Applying Occam's razor, the simplest explanation is often the most likely. A virus originating from a biolab studying similar pathogens, in the same city where the outbreak began, backed by globalist-funded research, seems far more probable than the idea that it naturally jumped from an animal in a nearby market. Yet, this theory was aggressively censored, raising even more questions about who benefits from the narrative control. What happens when unelected officials decide what you can and cannot do under the banner of global health? NATO was once a defensive alliance, meant to protect Western nations from foreign threats. But today, it's clear that NATO serves a different purpose. Expansionist policies have been used to provoke conflicts, particularly with Russia, while dragging European nations into wars without democratic approval. The EU's dependence on NATO prevents countries from developing independent defense policies, ensuring continued reliance on the globalist agenda. Is NATO really about protection, or has it become a tool for enforcing globalist military strategies? The World Economic Forum is at the center of the globalist push. They openly speak about their vision for 2030, a world where private property is a thing of the past, energy use is strictly controlled, digital IDs track every aspect of your life, and mass immigration reshapes the social fabric of every Western country. And the biggest corporations, like Pfizer, BlackRock, and Big Tech, are the real power players behind it all. This isn't democracy. It's corporate feudalism. But people are waking up. Across the Western world, nations are pushing back. Trump's return to power in the US signals a clear rejection of the WEF's influence. Right-wing victories in Italy, the Netherlands, Hungary, and Poland show a growing resistance to mass migration and globalist control. If France and Germany follow, the entire structure of globalist influence in Europe could collapse. This is why the globalist elites are panicking, and why they may attempt another manufactured crisis to tighten their grip before people can fully resist. The question now is, will people fight back, or will they let globalist organizations strip away their freedoms permanently? The WHO, NATO, and WEF must be dismantled and reformed, with their power stripped away to prevent further abuses. Our democracy has already been compromised. Unless we take action now, we may lose it forever. Fight for sovereignty. Spread the truth. Push back. Thank you for watching. Please like, follow or subscribe to me for more content.